This isn't the book I was planning to write. I was going to write a book about investing. I had a great title, I had all the chapter headings, and a lot of the content figured out. But I'd never written a book before, so I signed myself up for a workshop to get started. But when I sat down and opened myself to the process of writing, this is the book that came. And the realization that I was inspired to write a memoir, to share my personal stories rather than just summarize the high points of the lessons those stories had taught me, well, this shook me. And I spent a good part of the first day of the workshop lying prone on the floor, ugly crying, tears rolling down into my hair. But actually, it's perfect, because the creation of this book, the way I allowed the inspiration to come without arguing with it, censoring it, or overwriting it, the way I respected it and brought the actions and craft of writing and planning into the shaping and service of the inspiration, perfectly represents one of the greatest lessons the stories themselves have taught me over the past 3 decades. You see, I spent the first 30 years of my life learning how not to be distracted from my plans. I graduated from university with honors. I married a decent man with shared goals and ambitions. I got a good job, became a mom, and then, well, things began to go a little sideways. And that's where the story of my unraveling begins. This book does a few things. It tells the story of my undoing, my unraveling, everything from my love relations and parenting to my mistakes in the corporate world. It also anchors my stories to a conceptual framework that I have found very helpful as a basis for understanding the ways in which a consistent bias, an imbalance baked into our cultural norms and systems, taught me to close myself off to inspiration in the first place. The book documents my experiments on myself as I take steps to reclaim and remember the parts of me I'd left behind in order to find success. I have my chakras read. I muddle through yoga and ecstatic dance. I take animals and artists as my teachers. I talk to stones and therapists. The stories are sometimes funny, sometimes poignant, sometimes unbelievable, and sometimes just awkward. But I learn. I practice spontaneity and deep listening. I practice surrender and learn receptivity and the magic of saying yes. And so here it is. I offer this book in tremendous gratitude for the inspiration that brought it through me. If you found it, it's my profound hope and wish that the stories and messages of my journey serve and support and inspire you on yours.